Hello there everyone and welcome back. With the Black Friday sale now underway and Battlefleet Gothic having quite the substantial discount, I decided to do things a little bit differently. Because in all honesty, I didn't actually level an Imperial Navy fleet from level 1 before. I did with all the other factions, mind you. Some, well, pretty much all the factions at this point I did it at max level as well, so this is the one thing left in my repertoire, as it were, for my series on Battlefleet Gothic, so I decided it was time to correct that wrong. And with, as I said before, the big sale and all the new players coming in, it might be beneficial for them. Mind you, I'm probably not going to simplify my commentary all that much, because quite frankly, I don't even think it's possible for me, as I'm trying to also multitask my ships and keep them alive, and potentially just win my battles, but I am going to start it from the ground up there. At least I'm planning on maybe 5-6 episodes to get a nice good coverage, get myself up to Admiral level 4, maybe 5, depending on how things go. But after that, we'll see what happens, because I feel like I'm making grounds with the Space Marines fleets on some of the Admiral level 10, Chaos Rider, and Tau. I feel like I was making sways towards figuring out that matchup, and I would like to go back to that afterwards. But for now, let's have some fun with the Imperial Navy, and let's see if this backfires horribly on me, because more than likely, I may fight up against more max level fleets. It's entirely possible, but hey, the tables are going to turn a little bit, because I am going to have all the bonus points as an advantage. I just now got to get those essential upgrades by getting my cruisers level up a bit first, if I'm really going to take advantage of all those juicy bonus points I can get. But let's see how we do, shall we? Well, on the plus side, we're not fighting Admiral level 8 fleet. At least if I had to read the bonus points properly, because if it was Admiral level 8, I think I would be at around 330, so unfortunately, I'm not going to have the convenience of leveling up all 3 of my cruisers at once, which would be kind of nice, but we'll see how this goes nonetheless. It's still a question if I really need the Widowmaker or not, because of its enhanced sensor range, because none of these actually shoots farther than 6,000 units, so it's hard to say if that's what I want or not. Although to be fair, since we're fighting Space Marines, lances and armor penetration is probably my greatest weapon regardless. Although technically the Widowmaker can still do that some. Since they do after all have torpedoes, it's just going to be tricky to actually hit with them. Especially if he's just going to go with, what is it, the light cruisers, the vanguards. We'll have to see what he fields. It's hard to really say. Sure, I've had a lot of good luck playing against Imperial Navy, against lower level Imperial Navy fleets with my vanguards, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that simple for my opponent, because he's going to have to micromanage them quite a bit. And with boarding torpedoes, the possibility of boarding torpedoes, I kind of want to try and keep these grouped together to help shoot them down, especially any Thunderhawks he may be fielding, so tight formation might be the way to go. And let's see, he does have that gas cloud, which I'm going to have to be mindful of, make sure he doesn't utilize. And also, I did forget to kind of change my setup there a little bit. Well, now I feel bad now. I have to destroy a fan with a level 1 fleet. That's assuming I actually win this. I feel confident in this matchup, mind you, but without the level 2 upgrade for short burn torpedoes, I do have a little bit more of a handicap than I probably should. I don't care about a tier list all that much there. It's not like I play this game all that much. In all honesty, at this point, all the videos that you're currently seeing of my Battlefleet Gothic matches are pretty much all the only amount of the Battlefleet Gothic I'm actually playing at this point, a little bit. There are some occasional custom games I may do against bots and that, but online multiplayer, I think these videos are the only matches I'm actually doing, so it's don't think I play that much to warrant it. And in all honesty, I dislike kind of the concept of listing things into a tier list, because there are so many variables, especially for something like Battlefleet Gothic, because after all the factions are so diversely different. It's kind of hard to rank them fairly, at least in a descriptive form, because they all have their strengths and weaknesses there. So what can I get off this? 2 vanguards more than likely. And now let's keep spraying them out. I want to spread his ships out as much as possible. I'm not expecting these torpedoes to hit. I want to be able to isolate this one vanguard on the left. Although I should have probably shot a little bit more to the left to make that easier to do, in all honesty. And of course now we have mines to contend with that's kind of getting in my way. But oh well. If I can get a good moment or two to get a couple of shots off, especially with the lances, that would help soften them up well. And I do have a few shield transfers available too. Do I boost? I probably do, in all honesty. Especially now he's turned his side to me. And he does have a lance. Ha, he burnt the supercharged voice shield already, so. Now, engines are priority. Thunderhawk's already gone. And we got a brace for impact, so this is a promising start. And he does have a strike cruiser. So, I gotta be careful of this then. Because he's gonna destroy us pretty damn quickly. Oh, and I forgot to turn back on my weaponry, so that's a bit of a pain. Does that hit? Ooh, that was an amazing hit. I want to do that again. That felt good. Let's go for a double take, shall we? Because your supercharged voice shield isn't going to help. But destroying your weapon is going to be good. Ooh, now I have to change my priority after a hit like that, don't I? It demands it. Now, ram it to Kingdom Come. Ram it. Ram it, I say, and I'm done playing with you, Vanguard. Let's continue to ram this strike cruiser. Heesh, it's not even time for him to warp it out just yet. Aw, I'm sorry, fella. I forgot to hold the fire there, because I was going to let you try and warp out. That was a lot more brutal than I honestly expected. If I were to be honest. Now, torpedoes are back up, so let's see if we could do it again here, huh? Alright, he can warp out. That was brutal. A lot more brutal than I expected. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. How was I to expect 8 torpedoes were gonna hit a strike cruiser with none of them getting shot down? Yeah, I wasn't intending to destroy a strike cruiser. I apologize for that because it died so damn quickly. And a little bit of an oversight on me forgetting to turn off my weaponry there because I was going to let him warp it out. I just was a little bit flabbergasted, I'm not going to lie. Although I still would like to fight a lower level player, just probably not embarrass him. I would hate to embarrass him. Because that's probably what's going to happen if I'm not careful. I want to try and give him a fair fight and an enjoyable fight. Because if I were to face off a new player with an Admiral level 8, even if they arguably have more firepower and better potential, depending on the faction they're playing, mind you, they're still fairly easily going to say that they lost due to a level advantage, a level difference. Without a doubt, I think that's reasonable to assume, right? And then that just frustrates them and everything. And I want to try to avoid that. Although, when we're fighting on even terms, that helps me even more. Let's not kid ourselves. But, at least, it gets rid of that one little issue. And I'm going to try my best to make these entertaining rather than more strategic and flawless, or as efficient as possible. So that way, the newer players can at least learn a little bit and maybe get some enjoyment out of this game. But nonetheless, I probably should have gone with the Navigator on second thought. It's just of habit I like going with the Servitors. It seems to be my go-to skill, with the rare exception for maybe the Master Gunner or the Commissar maybe. Because I like being able to shoot torpedoes faster and it synergizes well with the, the reload. When I can actually remember to activate that order at the start of a match. So, I really should have gone with the Navigator because it's really good for what I was just talking about, keeping those ships alive, and that helps negate the lost in warp effect. And I'm going to admit, I got really damn good value out of it for my championship series, so I'm happy to have that skill even for ranked play. Whether I use it to the best of its ability remains to be seen, though. But, with that said, I'm going to enhance the speed of my torpedoes. And we're just going to continue it on, and hopefully, maybe I can get this second one leveled up. Alright, so looks like we're having ourselves a bit of a rematch here. I tried to delay it a few minutes there to make sure we try and get ourselves a little bit of variety. And I wouldn't want to ruin this poor fella's day, especially since he's a fan. Well, I don't honestly blame him there. When I kind of destroy a strike cruiser in almost record time, it feels like it was pretty brutal, needless to say. I feel bad for that. I forgot to hold fire with my weaponry to kind of let it go. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, although to be fair, it was ramming as well to kind of emphasize my point some, so I just didn't realize at the time that he actually wasn't able to warp out, because I wasn't expecting this to go that quick, that brutally. In my head, I was assuming he could have warped out at a moment's notice, and I was kind of waiting for that. And then I look at the cooldown timer on the bottom right and just realized there was still 30 seconds left of him getting that poor thing beat on, if I so wished, and unfortunately, I didn't want that, but oh well, what can you do? It's a good way to get some experience on this ship, but it looks like his fleet is kind of the same thing as before. So I kind of know my strategy. It's really a question of figuring out which one's the strike cruiser. Because the strike cruiser should be easier to hit, maybe not much, but it's a bigger target, that much is for sure. It's also slower, so I should be paying attention to that. I was just thinking all this time they were two vanguards and wasn't accounting for a speed difference here. But we do know which one's the strike cruiser this time around. Same position formation as before, although he is doing the smart thing and trying to keep them together. And I only got one form of short burn torpedoes until after this match, so it's not going to be as easy trying to pincer him there. I should be actually smart about how I fire these torpedoes in this case. This is one of those unique situations where my torpedoes all go different speeds, so I could probably do this better. I'm not sure how I could do it better, but it'd be good at deterring them quite a bit if nothing else. But needless to say, that was brutal. I do need to be better about keeping these frigates alive, because they were dying relatively quickly there. The brace for impact helped, mind you, but if he really committed to ramming these things, they would have died really quick in the early part of the battle. And I think maybe one of those torpedoes actually hit too. So, let's keep an eye on that. I'm ready to fire a second torpedo. And I think he's already turning that, so this might hit him some. He's not going to be able to evade in time. I just got to be careful. I'm not going to have a brace for impact for another 30 seconds. Ooh, I did actually hit it. Although I don't think I want to prioritize the Vanguard, but if he has... Oh, he doesn't have supercharged voice shields on that, so it's worth changing targets and focusing on the strike cruiser for now. Also, keep an eye on torpedoes, and also I have to remember I can use these shield transfers too, in all honesty. On the frigates is what I'm trying to say. That would be helpful. Oh, and I wasn't I didn't want it to actually go on the Vanguard, but it works. And he is Okay. Damn it, I selected the ship there. I want to select the frigate, so that way I could have hit that instead, or boost out. Okay, he boosts aside, so he's got that. Definitely an improvement from before, but lances are going to do damage. And I gotta keep in mind that that didn't have short burn torpedoes, but he's doing a little bit better this time. And with his brace for impact gone, I can now ram him more than he can ram me, especially with more health. Now we gotta kill his shields again, and keep an eye on my frigate's health because he is trying to go after him. All the while, keeping the brace for impact going, and again, he doesn't have his brace for impact now, so I could keep ramming him, and I should do more damage to him than he is to me. Although, I am losing my focus target for some reason. I don't want to lock on just yet, but I want this thing weak enough that he runs it out. All the while, Yeah, there we go. Ram! Ram him! I was half contemplating using melta torpedoes for that to emphasize my point, but his point defense did the work they need to. So it's all good. Oh, and I lost my engines, so let's make these shots count, shall we? Short burn torpedoes go. Now, we'll let that go. I'll let it go this time. I'm not planning on killing it, but I should turn off the autocast in case of an accidental warp jump cancel. I wouldn't want that. Not this time around. I learned my lesson. Now, can I deny him at least killing these firestorms? I think I can, especially with that Vanguard about to be heavily damaged too. Oh, he is sending Thunderhawks though, so run, run! Run, little thing, run! Live! It doesn't have the point defense and it did get boarded, but thankfully, no fires. Fire assault would have killed that thing right now. And again, I'm contemplating melta torpedoes to try and keep him from dying a miserable death. Not immediately. That would have killed it, I'm not gonna lie. With 3 base torpedoes, that would have killed it. Oh well. No ships were harmed in the making of this video. At least in this battle. Although, like I said before, I do want to try and get a little bit of variety, because then it feels like I'm being a bully a little bit. Trying to abuse the extra point advantage. I don't want to do that. But the hope is to show that even at Admiral level 1, that it's still possible to beat these higher level fleets. It's just a matter of taking full advantage of the points and what your fleet's capable of. Which in my case is sheer extra health and damn good prows. Maybe it's not so much helpful against the Lance or the bombardment cannons, but for ramming, damn, I can ram them all day long. Even with a light cruiser, I can still ram them. Let's not kid ourselves. It is not pleasant, especially when his brace for impact was not up because he burnt it so early for the torpedoes. So it paid off there. Even if the torpedoes did negligent damage, they did one thing important, which was they burnt his orders, which is probably the most important thing that the Space Marines have going for them. Especially when you have a chapter master. Which in all honesty, I never did check if he had any favors, but I'm going to say he was not Admiral level 8, so it's entirely possible he didn't. And already I'm level 2. So, we get a cruiser to play with, and I think I'm planning, at least for the time being, sticking with what I use for my championship series. So, I'm going to build up my Tyrants there. Maybe I could possibly go with a Dictator right away, because this thing was invaluable, I feel like, in the series, for shooting down bombers at least. Maybe not so much torpedoes, but hell, I had it figured out on how to dodge those torpedoes relatively well, using boosting and just being smart with my positioning and heading, quite frankly. But I was really happy with how it performed, and I'm half tempted to just grab a Dictator right now, but a Tyrant's so much more impactful, it has such more menacing presence, and it justifies having a Widowmaker now because of its incredible range. Mind you, it's only one pair of macro batteries, but it's still amazing range that I can take advantage of if trying to get aggressive doesn't seem like a worthwhile strategy. Namely, against Chaos, I'm thinking. And of course, Tau, who like to run away from me. But that will be for another time. Oh, and I don't have the renown, unfortunately, to get extra skills, so I'm burning through my stuff really quickly. But it's a promising start. It's like I said before, I would like a little bit of variety though, so let's try and see if we can get a different opponent this time. Well, we got ourselves an unknown Tau player apparently. So now begs the question, do I bring the Tyrant in or not? I don't expect him at 300 points to have like air cache or upgrades to try and avoid me anything, but I'll have to think about this a little bit because torpedoes are actually pretty damn potent at this point against Tau. And by that, I basically means he has such little in the ways of like fighters and point defense that torpedoes I could possibly brute force my way there, but I like to get some levels on this tire as well, even if I technically don't have the renown for it. Let's not kid ourselves. Yeah, I like to throw it in there just in case, and it gives me the points too for a Widowmaker. Perfect points even. So, it opens up a nice window to just engage at long range if possible. But, let's try and make this an entertaining match at least. And I'll try and hold true to my strategy, and I'm probably going to harass them a little bit of range. Again, I'm going to have this awkward window where my light cruiser, my Dauntless, is going to have the short burn torpedoes, but my Tyrant is not. Not until I get the renown for it anyway, so I am going to have to be aware of that so I can take advantage of this unique little predicament I put myself in. Because it's not very often that happens. I could probably deliberately take out certain upgrades from like my Admiral level 8 fleet and get rid of some short burn torpedoes, which probably could be useful in some cases. I'm just trying to think of how I could abuse the speed difference. Because if someone's trying to get super aggressive with me, if I were playing a more passive role, it would be good at keeping him at a distance if he wants to keep trying dodging torpedoes. Because then suddenly, even if I fire all the torpedoes at once, then he has to deal with 2 waves of torpedoes at basically the same time. A little bit, so this is definitely something different, and I'm going out of a limb. This could be a Orcon or Dalef. It's possible, or he could have a Protector as well, and then just 3 messengers. Because I don't think he could have a Castellan and 2 messengers, maybe, or 2 Castellans and a messenger. I'm not sure. I forget how the points line up. I just know the Castellan is like 55 points or something. So it could very well be 2 Castellans, so if I can kill those off somehow quickly, that'd be great. But until I can get in firing range, I should focus on this Protector some. And at least force it as far back as possible. Just a little bit. And also I should be firing torpedoes, shouldn't I? And reloading, but I'm forgetting to do that like an idiot. So, I have a gas cloud here. I'm not too worried about being revealed. I don't even need to try to dodge these again. The gas cloud's going to hide me again, so any secret missiles he may throw at me are not going to be very effective. They're going to be short-lived. I just got to be mindful they don't accidentally still fly towards me because of their tracking potential. But if the Widowmaker is the one that activates the autocast, then I'm fine. Nope, no autocast, so... And apparently I did get some torpedo hits in. Okay. So we got ourselves what looks like to be a Protector now. I'm pretty much calling it now. It could still be a Dalef, maybe. That's still a possibility, but... if it's a Protector's a bigger threat regardless, so... I should, for the time being, until proven otherwise, assume it's a... what is it? The Protector. But anyways, this answers my question, I guess. 2 messengers, a Castellan, and then the actual Protector. And I should get ready to get my boring ready. And this thing should die relatively quickly, I just gotta prioritize it. Although in all honesty, these messengers are not really a threat. It's really the Castellan that's the bigger threat, so I should turn to try and engage that. While he keeps his Protector back, but slow, steady, surgically destroy his ships one by one. He does have secret missiles, so this is a new player. So now begs the question, how can I keep this entertaining? Well, in all honesty, the best way to keep this entertaining for him is to not use my brace for impact to immediately negate any damage he does to me, which I still have 15 seconds before that becomes available anyway, so that's not an issue. But let's take care of this messenger quickly, shall we? Because the Castellan's about to take a big beating. Wow, only 2 torpedoes, so he got lucky there. And, oh, the Manta Bombers thankfully were just shot down. They thankfully are not very potent when they don't have their energy shield. That is probably one of the most important upgrades for any bomber type of ships, or carrier ships for Tau. Because having extra health is kind of essential, because that's what puts them on par with all the other fighters' fleets. Or at least carrier ships anyway. Since they have 6 hit points worth of fighters and bombers, while the Protector unfortunately only has 3 per ordnance launcher, ordnance bay. Now let's try and hunt this thing down. My prow soaked a great deal of this damage. Secret missiles are about to hit hard though, so let's fix this by turning my prow to it. Hell, just rotating probably did it alone. I dodged most of them. And the point defense are going to shoot down hopefully the rest of them. But he is evading me. Yeah, he's doing that strategy where he cuts and runs. Okay, now it's time for the brace for impact. If he's just going to do this strategy, we're going to have to play traditional way. Time to take the gloves off. Nonetheless, I just took a hull breach for something. I'm kind of worried it was from Manta Bombers somehow. But I have the health and I have the ramming potential, so this Dauntless is going to hurt. All the while, this time should probably continue to harass at distance. Because he's got the range for it and he's not using his prow very well. That's right, come to me. Oh, he has micro warp jump too. How cute. Okay, since we know what the strategy is, we can already presume who it is. Maybe. Because this is no surprise. This is same tried and true strategy. And this time, oh, let's see. There, torpedoes are hanging there. He does have vision. It was probably a mistake, but to run. But I can force him into my. I can force him to go where I wish. Once I ram him. There. So his engines are gone. I did the one thing I need to do. Now, with his fighters dying, let's finish off this nuisance, shall we? And all the while, let's try and recharge these shields quickly. Actually, let's just get my prow going. Soak all this damage as much as we can, shall we? Now, this Dauntless still serves its purpose of soaking up a lot of damage. Because now, let's see. His engines are gone. This Widowmaker is still going to be able to use these wreckage. And I'm just going to ram his ass in a moment. I don't even need to do much else. Just finish this off. Sadly, I don't have very much range potential. But I got what I really needed. I got what I really needed. Oh well. With the air cache that would be a little more problematic, but this is lower level. He wouldn't have the renown for it either way. And by the time he does have the renown, I have multiple ships for the long range potential. And even arguably, what is it? I would also have some overlords to help with the lance fire. But really, with 2 fighters, that's not a huge deal. It's just the amount of time it takes for the torpedoes to reach them. And a lot of that will be rectified quite a bit once I get these short burn torpedoes on my tire tier. So that helps alleviate a lot because I just got the renown I needed. So we got ourselves more short burn torpedoes, and unfortunately the rest of my renown is going to go to my second upgrade slot. Let's see. Or not upgrade slot, but it's actually my skill slot, which I kind of need to figure out. I honestly can't remember what were the skills I used for. Oh, it was probably Supercharged Void Shield if I were honest. At least I did have it for my Overlords and definitely the Retribution, but is that the route I want to go? Because I don't care for a Micro Warp Jump all that much. Auger Disruptor is also an option, but this seems too early to try and deny Micro Warp Jumps, even though it actually would have been useful for that match, considering. Maybe not very much, considering it's only 25 seconds. And how long it took me to actually hunt down his ship, but it's an option nonetheless. Can't really think of much else in all honesty, unless I want a Stasis Bomb. I'll play with the Stasis Bomb for now, and if necessary I'll just swap it out with the Supercharged Void Shield later, but that's more for like later game, with the higher point fleets where that Supercharged Void Shield rapidly becomes more and more valuable. When I'm potentially only dealing with like 1, maybe 2 cruisers, then that's not as valuable, quite frankly. Not nearly as valuable, and probably the shield transfer is probably better. In most situations, at least. Once we start getting up to 400 points, that will rapidly start to change, though.